All right. Even though I only have one person on, Stephanie, I'm going to record it. I'm going to get going because I want to get back into Team All Stars. I didn't mean to mute myself. I want to get back into Team All Stars calls at least once a month because I feel like there's something to be said about meeting with our group, even though we have our Sweat Society calls on Wednesday, which, by the way, guys, start hopping on those if you can. I understand if you have things going on, but they're on Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we alternate the leaders in Sweat Society. When I say leaders, it's the star diamonds that kind of brought Sweat Society together. They're the one we rotate who's going to lead a call, and we all have something different to add. But with that said, Sarah Lenore, who is one of our uplines, who is an elite coach, which means she is in the top minuscule percentile of the company. She can get some heavy hitters on the call if we get more people on. So I encourage you guys to get on those team calls Wednesday night. Even if you're busy doing something else, you can have yourself muted. You can even have your face blurred out and doing something else and just have it playing so that you can, even if you're doing something else like folding laundry or whatever it might be, making lunches for the next day for the kids, get on those calls, please, please, please. I would like our team to really represent on those calls as much as we can. There's been nights I haven't been able to get on either, so it's not all about perfection. The other housekeeping thing I wanted to mention was the sweat training. If you have not done it, please do it and get into Sweat Society, because that group has a lot of resources that I don't provide everything in here because I just don't, I'm one person. I mean, there's a lot of great coaches in here, but in Sweat Society, it's just exponential. And the resources that are brought to that group is way larger. So I would like for you guys to get through that training, not just click through it and do it really quickly. I want you to really ingest it and put those things into practice. There's 3 different phases. You pick the phase that you think you're in, whether you're a walker, jogger, runner, basically how fast you're moving with this business or how fast you want to move with the business. So those are a couple of housekeeping things. So again, get on those calls Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also going to try to get these calls in at least once a month. Hey, Carl. And
hey, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just I'm just recording because I know I changed it last minute and we haven't had these in a long time. So there's probably not going to be a lot of people trying to hop on. So I'm recording and, I'll share it. So, and then also make sure everyone, if you haven't been in the sweat training, get it done, get through it, get it done. Hey, Sarah. And then I'll post the link in the recording when I post the recording in our group. So if you have not done the Sweat Society training, do it, get in Sweat Society, get on those weekly calls so we can get some heavy hitters on those calls. Again, Sarah Lenore will, she said if we get lots more, we need to get people consistently on those calls. She doesn't want to ask anyone until we have a large group on there, and that her resources are really good. So I wanted to talk tonight about a couple of things, one being our whys. Sarah, Brian, and I were talking a little bit earlier about how your why, when I say our why, meaning what drives you in your business, is really going to determine how successful you are in the business. Quite frankly, you need to have and I was talking to another one of my coaches yesterday about her why. And I really think that's the missing link with a lot of coaches. And it doesn't even matter if you're a runner, jogger, walker. It's really having a specific why and something that really gives you urgency in your business, and meaning that you're not going to miss your daily activities. Even if your daily activities is just to invite one person per day, you're not going to miss it. Or if it's to invite 25 to 35 people per day, you're not going to miss it because your urgency is there to reach that goal and to really fulfill those needs you have for yourself. So a lot of people say, well, my why is that I want to get healthier, and help other people. That is not specific enough. It is not specific enough to say, I want to add a little bit of financial assistance to my family. You need to get super specific and write down the things that, what would you, if you could create your perfect life, what would it look like? How would that be portrayed for yourself? I know Sarah Bry has like a vision board. I don't have a vision board per se, but I have a dry erase board and I write those things up there. Like I look at it every day, things that I'm working toward, and I'm actively working toward these goals. Like I know that my family's going to go on a huge Alaskan trip with one of my best friends lives in Alaska, and our goal is to fly our entire family there, and it's just expensive to fly a huge family out there. So my goal is to have a really amazing family vacation, and that is on my dream board. I call it a dream board too. So that really pushes me. Like I want to make that a reality. That's not a reality with our current situation. If I took away Beachbody and it just had our teaching jobs, it wouldn't be a reality with our bills and things like that. But with Beachbody, the doors open wide for us. So other things like I want to start working one-on-one with Josh Coates. He is one thing that's driving me. I want to get to a certain financial place before I work with him. If you don't know who Josh Coates is, look him up on Instagram. You'll understand why I, really want to work with him. I have Visit Magnolia Table. That's something that drives me. I know it seems silly, but Magnolia Table, if you don't know what it is, it's Joanna and Chip Gaines, their restaurant in Texas. That's a super simple, that's an easy one that I could do a weekend trip, but it's up there. Like I want to take a girls trip with my mom and sister and go visit it and take a long weekend and go check out their silos. Concrete, yes, that's a concrete why. Is that what you're saying, Carl? Yes. So I think really even just like listing all the things you want to do and make it like really exciting. I know part of the other push for me is that I know that we would not be able to send our kids to a Catholic school. We would not be able to afford our house. So I have some real big urgency pushes for me financially because we wouldn't be able to afford those things. We just wouldn't with our incomes. I mean, my husband's a Catholic school teacher. Sorry to my husband. I mean, I love him and he works hard and he loves his job, but it's not a job that pays a lot of money. And I'm a part-time school social worker. So I'm also on a school, income. So I rely heavily on it. So if finances aren't your big push, you need to figure out what is your big push so that you can push your business forward. Speaking of the devil, that's my husband calling right now. He's calling on my phone. You want to talk to Daddy? He was just calling. She goes, no, bye. Gotta love it. So if your family doesn't need money, that's okay. It's okay. You need to figure out what it is that's going to drive you. You've got to do some soul searching to figure that out. Because there's a reason that you came to the business. It's not for poops and giggles, there's a reason for it. So anyway, figure it out, figure out your goals, make them tangible, make them small, make them big. Like I have my big goals written down, what I'd like to make per week by the end of the year. They're large. What I want to make next week. They're still large, but not as large as my end of the year goals. And then I have everything in between, things I want to buy for the house. I want to buy a really cool patio furniture set. I want to replace the carpet in our front room. Like I want to get an assistant in the next couple of weeks, and that's definitely going to be a reality. We want to redo our kitchen floors. I have a lot of financial things. I know they're financial, but they really push me and get me excited because I just keep putting it away, and it keeps me driven. Like, oh, we're almost there. I can do this. So it keeps me getting up early every morning. So that's something that I encourage you to work with your success partner. And if you don't have a success partner, get one. That's another call in and of itself. And it needs to be someone that pushes you. It cannot be someone that accepts you where you're at. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that they're going to motivate you in a way that gets you like excited to work. And I think that makes, yes, I agree, Sarah. Sorry, I look at the chat too. You need to work with someone that's going to get you excited to push your business, not someone that's like, oh, it's okay, you did great last month, you can take a break or whatever. You need someone that's going to be like, let's do it, we can do this. It really, like Sarah Bry and I talk a lot, and I don't know, she jazzes me up. I get excited. So it gets me moving. And when she gets successful, I get excited for her and it makes me want to be successful, things like that. So it really helps. I also want to talk, also want you to totally recognize, and I think a lot, especially newer coaches, and I was one of those coaches in the beginning, don't realize that the sky really is the limit, that we are all people, okay? Obviously, we're all people, but there's nothing special about, I mean, we're all special. I think I've said this before. We're all special, of course, but there's nothing special about our top coaches. There's nothing different from them than us. We're all unique in different ways. But we also need to recognize that why not us? Why not me? You know, people that are rocking their business, top 10, they're no different than us. You know, I think about that all the time. I'm like, they get up and they have the same struggles we do every day. There's nothing, they have the same 24 hours. So why, you know, the sky is really the limit. And it's that belief that we could do that. So that's huge. Okay, so I want to talk about some daily actions. I've kind of posted it in our group before, but I really want to go more in detail with everyone about that. And you can kind of tailor it to what your pace is with the business. If you're working 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 45 or 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever it might be. And I have, I shared a version of it in All Stars. I have printed it and I've laminated it, and I use a dry erase marker and I check it off. I literally check it off and then I erase it the next morning and I start over again. And is it always perfect? No, because I have huge numbers that I'm trying to reach. I don't always reach them, but I'm always pushing for those numbers. And so I'm going to go through a lot of that tonight, but I think before you even do that, you definitely need to have a secure system of follow-up and a secure system of how you track your people. So, and I have some newer coaches that I'm going to make sure, I don't even know if they knew I had a Zoom on here tonight, but I'm going to tag them on this. Yes. Yes, you did. It's important to figure out a system. Now, Sweat Society, the team call was on Asana last week, I believe. Ellen Ludwig did one on Asana. That's a tracking system. I'm using my Connection Builder. A lot of people are using Teamzy, which is really great too. Some people use Streak, which I find a little bit confusing. Yeah, I love my Connection Builder. It's really working for me. Paper and pencil, but the only thing with paper and pencil is that when you have an electronic form, like it will populate to, you know, it will like pop up the day you need to do something. Like it will say today's follow-ups and it just has a list for me. I don't even have to think about it. Whereas in paper and pencil, sometimes I got overwhelmed by paper and pencil. I just was like this huge list. I don't even know where to start. And then I miss people left and right. So I highly suggest you use an electronic form. Yeah, go ahead. Some sort of format. Now, a lot of these do cost money. I believe Asana is free, and I did use it for a while, but I was still missing people. So I have invested in my Connection Builder, which is $29.99 per month, but it's totally worth it because I'm not missing anybody. And it's all tax write-off anyway. If you make more than $600 in the year, you have to file for taxes. So just kind of keep that in mind. Track anything you spend in the business along the way because you can write it off. Okay, so you got to make sure you have a follow-up system, and you also need to recognize that just because you invited someone one time does not mean that, and if they said no, like 99% of people are going to say no the first time you talk to them. That's just a reality, and I think that's something that we're not sharing enough with our new coaches is like, that's normal. It's okay someone says no. Like I said no to Wendy like 5 times. She called me because she knew I did P90X and was like, you got to try this new program, T25. And I was like, yeah. No way. But she was my friend, so I listened to her. I remember I was walking through Walmart because in Illinois, Walmart was our grocery store, it was the only thing nearby. And I was walking and she was talking. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to listen to this. She was a new coach. So she was kind of rambling on everything. She was really excited. But she didn't give up on me. She stayed in touch with me and she laid off when I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like I was really upfront with her, and then she didn't give up on me. And she gave me a couple months. And then when the timing was right, she was like, seriously, there's this new program, 21 Day Fix. I know you want to lose those 10 pounds really bad. You've been talking about it. And I did it. And there you go. I think she talked to me probably 5 times. Email, phone call, text. She did a lot of things. Sorry, I'm reading Carl's message here. Business goals, yeah. You need to get your business goals from Mr. Carl, because you have a huge transformation story that can inspire so many people, which is inspiring a lot of people, actually. I shouldn't say could. It is. You just got to take those action steps. So I'm going to talk about those in a minute. And I want you to also think about how you can reach more people. Okay, we've got our personal pages. That's wonderful. If you're using a personal page, that's great. Just keep in mind that Beachbody is, if they catch you trying to sell, they get funny about that. And there's some rules we have to adhere by. Facebook can shut down your page. With that said, if you are using your personal page, make sure that you are constantly growing your network. You can't just assume your same 400 people want to hear your message every single day. It's not going to work. Your business will not grow. You're all of a sudden going to get no one looking at your message, your post. They're going to not even like your posts because they're sick of seeing it. You need to constantly grow. The whole point is to meet new people. If I highly encourage you to get on Instagram, and that's a really great way to meet people as well. Maybe that's the next training, might be an Instagram training, because meeting new people on Instagram is really easy. Using hashtags and using your Insta stories and all that, it makes it really easy to follow new people. Typically, they follow you back. Is Daddy home? Well, go make it if you make it. I'm single parent right now until Daddy gets home. Anyway, so Instagram's a really great place, so that can be a separate call. And then if you're doing a Facebook like page, that's a whole nother story as well. But whatever you're doing, you need to be consistent with your posts. You need to be trying to grow. Sorry. Okay, my new coach wants to get on, and I just said, we're on right now. You need to be growing your business, growing your network, no matter what it is. You got to be growing it. If you're not sure how to, make sure you reach out to your coach. It'll help you out. Okay, so let's talk about your daily actions. And Carl, I'm talking directly to you, my friend, and everyone else. All right, number 1, if you have a like page, you are going to make sure that you thank every single flippin' person for liking your page. You go to their page and you message them. You don't necessarily friend them. I friend them if I get a conversation going, but I message them and say, thank you for liking my page. It's so great to connect with other moms. Are you in a health and fitness journey too? But put it in your own words and your own story. And 50% of the time they respond. About half the time. For me, it might be more for other people. It might be less, but it doesn't matter. I message every single person. And there's a really cool feature on your phone. If you go to settings on your phone, you go to settings, go to general, and then go to keyboard and text replacement. You can put in your message that you send to all your new likes, and you name it like connect or whatever, and all you have to write is connect in your message, and it populates the whole entire message. So you don't have to copy paste. It's really cool. Just a little tidbit. I just learned that a few weeks ago, and I love it. And I guess Facebook likes it better, and they make sure that the people see your messages. So make sure you message every single person that likes your page. And then if you're on Instagram, you need to make sure that you're following new people every day that have similar interests as you, and you're unfollowing the people that are not following you back.
Okay, stop.
Every day.
Question. Okay, so I understand. I always, anybody that likes my page, I automatically go ahead and do that. But like my new transformation story that went out, it's gotten so much traction and so much whatever. Do I go to each one of those people that have liked that and do? I mean, I feel like I feel like there's so much traction right now with that I need to make sure I'm doing the right thing with it. So you know what I'm saying? I always likes my page. That's a comment. I mean, I do that every time. It's not a big issue.
Perfect.
But as far as this transformation story, it's growing so big and so fast, and I'm getting so many comments. Like I put it on my friend's in the UK on his page, and I'm getting some UK buzz now because they know it's over there now. But I don't know how to connect. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to connect it from where I'm at. Does that make sense?
Yep. So you need to create like people that like your post on transformations and fitness related posts. Create something that goes with that particular post and you send it to all of them. So for that transformation, you might say, hey, Bob or whoever, listen, I really appreciate you liking this post. It was hard for me to put it out there or whatever. You know, are you into health? Like, do you work out as well, or some sort of thing that ends with a question? Super simple. Most of the time they'll respond to you and you might get a conversation going, and just have a natural conversation moving forward with the likes. You don't want it to be like pressure filled or, but it's really starting a conversation about fitness. And you might start talking about your story, how you got there, and they might be intrigued by it. At any rate, you're going to record that person's name in whatever tracking system. If it's a conversation, don't track it if you're just reaching out to them. You just track it if you're starting a conversation, so that you make sure that you continue talking with them, or maybe you add them as a friend on Facebook or whatever. You have to kind of read that. Then with the comments, it's going to be a little bit more direct. If they're like, hey, how did you do it? You're going to be direct and be like, listen, this is what I've done. You want to join us? Like, you want to check out what I'm doing? Or supernatural, casual way that you talk. Like, that's what I usually say is, hey, you should do it. You should join me. You want to check it out? Yeah, that's usually what I say, but in your own words. So, and that's one of the things on the list, actually.
Can I say something,
yep.
Sarah? A question that's been working for me. So, Carl, I shared your post. So any of my people that are friends with me, but not you, can you still hear me? Am I frozen?
Nope. You're good.
Okay. I will reach out to, but one question that I'm ending with that's working for me is, because I get a no. I will get a no. Is just, hey, thank you for supporting me. Like Sarah said, it's hard for me to share that, and I appreciate your support. And then something like, were you just supporting me, or are you interested in what I'm doing? Were you supporting me, or do you want to know more about what I'm doing to reach these goals? And then I've been getting either a no, I was just supporting you, and there's your no, right? You're planting a seed, or yeah, tell me more. Yeah. That's a question I used coming back from our Success Club trip, and because I wasn't getting any responses. So I'm like, I'm just going to give them an either or and see. And some people say, yeah, tell me what you're doing.
Well,
I will say that on yours. That's awesome. You were supporting Carl. Thank you for supporting him. What was that all you were doing? Or do you want to know more about the health and fitness aspect? Or what resonated with you with his story? Or I don't know, you could ask any question like that.
I had a lady.
I have to hop off. I have to go pick up the third child.
Okay. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for hopping on.
I had a lady from the UK say, you love cheesecake. We are best friends already. Okay. We'll go with that.
I love it. I love UK people. I'm just going to say that. I've loved every single person I've met in the UK. And people from Canada. I love them all. They are so friendly. Not that Americans aren't friendly, but they're definitely really friendly. I don't know if you guys have had that.
So did you run an ad? How are you meeting them? Did you run an ad, or is it through Instagram?
I have an ad. I have an ongoing ad on my page that only goes to moms a certain age. Like, I have a very specific demographic in the UK, Canada, and US. And I get a lot of UK people. I mean, I get a lot of Americans too, but I'm getting more and more UK people, I find. I don't know why. It even says on my Facebook page that the most women that like my page are from the UK. I don't know why. But I'm fine with that, and I found them to be very friendly. So But anyway, so
I
yes,
need
that's
to
an
do that.
awesome response, Sarah. Thanks for mentioning that because I actually just learned that last week and I forgot about that. So we'll just start with that. That's one of the things on your list. Every day you should go to your last 3 posts and respond to all the likes and comments. Now you might not respond to you could. It depends. If it's just lifestyle stuff, that's up to you. If you want to shoot a message, hey, and just start a conversation, that's totally up to you if you want to do that. Like something with my kids, like Jason just getting his first communion, I might reach out and like, hey, thanks for the like, are you guys Catholic too? Or something like that. I wouldn't even bring up fitness. But if it's fitness related, always respond to the likes and comments in the last 3 posts or 4 posts or however many you did the previous day. So that's one of the things you definitely want to do. Obviously, you want to be posting 2 to 3 times a day and being on Instagram stories. If you're not on Instagram and don't know anything about stories, again, that's a separate call. But if you're on Instagram and doing stories, do those. Make sure you're doing that every day. I was for a while, was not scheduling them all out, but planning all of my posts for the entire week. And that really made my week a lot easier. I've kind of gotten out of that practice because our Sundays have gotten jam-packed with sports. So, but I still have a schedule that I follow, and it's been helpful for me to know like what kind of topics I want to address during the week. And that's really helpful for the busy people here because we're all busy.
I have to go. It sounds like I have a crisis downstairs.
Oh,
so
no. All right, Carl.
I
Thanks for hopping on.
deal with it, but I will catch the rest of it. Thank
Okay,
you
cool.
so much.
All right. Bye, Carl. The next thing you want to do that top coaches recommend is make sure that you're telling everyone happy birthday on their birthday on Facebook. Those things pop up. Make sure you connect with people that way. I've just started doing that. It's just a good way to be friendly and without an agenda. There's no agenda on that. Just saying it's just being social because that's what we're doing. Expanding your network. Again, I talked about that already. Finding ways to expand your network. Again, Instagram's super easy to expand your network. Find people that have similar interests. Look on common hashtags. And you follow people, oftentimes they'll follow you back. You can start a conversation that way. Another way is the Insta story. Definitely add, if you're on Instagram, add them every day. Insta stories, you can start conversations. Like I go through and I try to find 5 Insta stories that are interesting to me, and I'll send a message like, oh, that's a cool recipe. Can you tell me what it is? Just to start conversations. It's just to be social and make connections with people and find people I have things in common with. And really you have to start there. If you're a newer coach, you have to start with conversations without an agenda. It's just making friends online. And then eventually it will move to that direction, but it needs to come from a genuine place for it not to be a sales pitch that makes any sense. So we're always being genuine, being friendly, finding people to talk to. The next thing is that you're going to do your follow-up. So again, if you hopped on a little bit later, make sure you catch the beginning of the recording where you want to definitely have a tracking system. The top ones I would say are My Connection Builder, TeamZ, and Asana. Those are the 3 top ones. Some coaches use Streak. I find that very confusing. The other 3 are very easy. With TeamZ and My Connection Builder, super duper duper easy. But those ones do cost money. I do My Connection Builder and I don't miss a person. So, and again, people will, it takes 3 to 7 connects or touches, meaning they've seen a post you've done or you've talked with them. People generally say no the first time you talk to them, and that's just totally normal, and you have to be okay with that because most people don't want to spend money. And that's just the reality of things. They have other things they have other financial responsibilities. Most women put themselves last, not going to lie. They do. We're notorious for that. We're notorious for spending $250 on a basketball camp and then not spending $150 on ourselves for something that will last a lifetime. But that's another story. We all do that. I do it too. And that's what I originally did in the beginning. But anyway, so you have to do those follow-ups, make sure you're connecting with people on a regular basis. So, if you have a follow-up system, generally I have about 15, 20 follow-ups I have to do, but I'm not saying that's how many you have. That's after I've been doing this for a while and adding people. And then you have to do those invites. Those invites need to happen. So, and let me talk about invites a little bit because they can be, I don't want you to think like, oh, I've got to find people to invite and I've never talked to them before. No, most of the time they're people that you've connected with before. So if you're just starting your business, do those other things that I've just talked about. Make sure you're connecting, make sure you're making new friends, make sure you're commenting on stories, make sure you're sending birthday messages, make sure you're responding to all likes and comments, especially for your fitness posts, to start those conversations. Those invites will happen in due time when you find the appropriate time to do so. Now, I posted some scripts to sort of guide conversations. I don't want you to feel like you got to be a robot and follow these scripts, but it helps you at least guide your conversation so you understand kind of the flow of it all. So, let me know if anyone needs those, and I can make sure to repost them. So for me, a lot of times they're in my follow-ups. A lot of them are like, oh, I've talked to them 2 or 3 times and we've talked about their goals and now I'm going to invite them. Or maybe it's an invite from a post that I did, things along those lines. So for example, and another thing to do is maybe even make a running list, make a list of people who have shown some level of interest, and just start going down the list. Like, hey, you mentioned before, that you wanted to lose 15 pounds. I have this really cool nutritional program that came out that doesn't require any exercise. Are you interested in learning more? That's all an invite needs to be.
About 2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. And then you want to do business invites. My goal is 2 per day. So business invites, typically for me, I would say I do them after their challengers. I want them to be successful and understand. However, there are times when I shut the door, please. Thank you. That's a bad time, so you never know. So there are times that you might find someone that is looking for, or they have an urgency. They lost their job. They're really looking for money, or they're really want something long term, and they're in with the Shakeology. Sign them up as a coach. I mean, that's talk to them about the coaching opportunity. Anytime someone enrolls, offer the coaching opportunity because that's only going to save them money. You always want to do that. It helps them. It helps you. It's a win-win situation. They can cancel at any time, even if they are like, oh, I decided I don't want to do it. They can cancel. It's no big deal. And that's it, guys. That's it. I know it seems like a lot, but really make a list for yourself, check it off, close your computer, shut off your phone, and go be with your family. Bottom line. And I think that's what a lot of people worry, is that their business is going to bleed into every aspect of their life. So I guess that's all I have for you. I think a couple of things that I'm going to post when I post this video is I'm going to post the Sweat Society training. I can post scripts if people want them. I don't know, just to help guide conversation. And then I would like for you guys, once I post this, to post your why. I want to hear really specific things that keep you driven with the business. And I don't want it to be super general. I want it to be very specific. So if it's like, I want to get myself more healthy, why? Keep asking yourself why. Why do I want to be more healthy? Because I want to be able to keep up with my kids. Why? Because I have 4 active kids and they require a lot of energy. Why? Because they're involved in sports and, I want to be able to be outside and play sports with them. Why? Like, keep asking yourself why, and it will start breaking it down to that specific reason. Or it might get to the point where, like, well, my mom wasn't active with me when I was a kid. Or it might get to the point where, I don't know, I want to be able to afford a really expensive camp that my kid really wants to go to. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to really be specific about that. And that is going to change your business, because that inner fire will be there. And the fire is the difference between a successful coach and an unsuccessful coach, or a coach that's just kind of dabbling with the business. So, all right, guys, I'm not going to take more of your time. Let me know if you have questions. Again, I'll post some things after this downloads. I'll post it in Team All-Stars. Thanks for hopping on. I know it was a switch from yesterday, and I'd like to do a Team All-Stars call like once a month, just to kind of keep it more personal and if we can get on a regular thing, then maybe we can even like mastermind together, like talk about plans and what our goals are for the month and things like that. We've done that in the past, and that was kind of good. That was kind of nice for everybody. So anyone have anything for the good of the order? All right, cool beans. I'm going to go get the kids to bed. I will see you guys later in the group and many of you at Summit very soon. All right, have a good night, guys.